In this video, I'm going to show you how you can use Inventor to design your own CO2 dragster. So this file that I'm going to be starting off with is in the Google Classroom that you can download. Just remember, when you go to save it, make sure you save it to your Google Drive and make sure you give it a file name with your period number, then your last name, and then CO2 dragster. Alright, so I've also provided you with some example sheets. So these are some examples of what a top view would look like and what that would look like 3D. So you can see, like, for example, this one, okay, the top view would look like that and the 3D view would look like this. And over here is the side views. So say in the side view, if I chopped off the top right there, that's what it would look like in 3D. If I did a little arc right here, that's what it would look like in 3D. Okay, so you can mix and match and choose what you want, and these are just some ideas. If you had your own idea, that's perfectly fine too, as long as it doesn't go into any of the areas you're not allowed to cut into. So let's go back here. So the areas that you're not allowed to cut into are these areas in black. So I put some decals just to remind you not to cut into those areas. So I'm going to start with my top view. Now, if I go to Start 2D Sketch, I've made this work plane. Okay, so that's what you would do for your top view. Okay, so and I'm actually going to rotate it this way. All right, so I think I'm going to do this curve right here. Okay, so I'm going to do that curve. So I'm going to use my arc tool. So the way this works is I'm going to start here, so I'm not inside the black area, and then you have to place where you're going to end it. So again, I'm going to place it before that black area, and then you can decide how much of an arc you want. Okay, don't go all the way to the middle, because then if you do it on the other side, it'll be completely gone right there. So I'm just going to do it right there. And here's one thing you have to remember. In order for me to cut this material away, I need to close this area off. Right now I just have one line. I need to make another line connecting my starting point to my end point. Now that area is enclosed. Now I can finish my sketch and I can extrude. Now I want to cut material away, and I want to cut it all the way through. That's what this through all button is. Okay. Now, you might say, well, that's only half of it. I would have to do another one over here. And yeah, we could, mess around with the horizontal and vertical constraints and try to get it exactly the same on both sides. But there's a much easier way of doing that to make it perfectly symmetrical. There's this button, Mirror. So if you click that, it says, okay, what feature do you want to mirror? I want to mirror the extrusion I just did. And then the mirror plane is going to be my YZ plane, and you can see that's what it would look like right there. Okay. All right. Now, say I also wanted to, say, round my front end right here. Okay. Now I could go in and do that with an arc again, but I could also just go to my fillet tool. I could click on the front two edges and then change the fillet, say 0.5. Okay, and I would get that to where I would like it. So maybe 0.6. Okay, and then I'd say okay. All right. So my top view, I think, is done. Now let's look at our side views here. So I think I'm going to, let's see, I'm going to chop off the bottom back area right there. And let's say I want to cut away the underside of this. Okay, so I'm going to start a 2D sketch, and I'm going to click on either this face or this face, doesn't matter. And I'll zoom in. All right, I can use my line tool, and I'm going to start after my hole. Okay. So I'm going to click here. I'll stop before I go into the black area, because that's where the tank is going to go. We can't cut into that. I'm going to click. Now again, that's just a line. I need to enclose it. So I'm going to start another line from here down to the corner, and then back to my starting point. Okay, could finish that sketch. I could extrude, and again I'm going to cut it, and I'm going to go through all. Alright, and now I also want to do that hollowing out the bottom of this. So I'm going to go start another sketch, and I'm going to use my line tool again. So let's say I want to go from here, and I'm just kind of eyeballing it, and say back down to there. And again, I have to go back to my beginning point there, and just escape. Right. I can finish my sketch. I can extrude, and I'm going to cut it, and I'm going to go all the way through. And there, I have my CO2 dragster all designed. Okay, so just making a few cuts. Remember, you can't cut here, and in your top view, you can't cut up here or right here, because that's right where the axle is going to go. So I would go up, I would save this. Again, your period, then your last name, and then CO2 Dragster. And that's it.